Well, after the disaster that was the buffalo chicken pizza ramen noodles, now we have cheese pizza ramen noodles. Will these be good? Will these be bad? Let's check it out and try it. But first, it seems to have pretty similar macros to the last one. No smell coming through the thing, which is an interesting difference to the previous one. Are the instructions? Yep, exactly the same. So you can give me a second and we'll be back to when she's cooked. Okay, quick addendum while it's actually in microwaving. I ended up actually just putting it into microwave before I actually did like the test because it has a very interesting smell. So you know how a lot of those fake pizza flavored things kind of have just that weird, almost off tomatoey kind of smell with what could almost generously be called shaker mozzarella, even though even the shaker cheese is far better than whatever that is. Very similar scent. Kind of reminds me of one of those shitty frozen Little Caesars kits from back in the day that the elementary schools used to sell. I don't know what I think about that, and that's for ramen. I'm a little worried, I will admit. Now today's eating implement, actually before we get into eating, pretty nice shaped multi-purpose fork. You can use this for just about everything. Again, before we actually get into cooking, one thing I noticed off the bat is even though this is kind of bubbling up, it's nowhere near as violent bubbling and coming to the top like it was for the buffalo chicken stuff. Not to say this isn't bubbling up, but it's nowhere near as violent or fast of a rise. It almost kind of reminds me of one of those crappy baking soda volcanoes, but neutered for lack of better words. Now that it's cooked, it has a very interesting smell. The smell kind of reminds me of the flavor of the Hellfire Club cheese Totino's pizza rolls. I don't know what I think about that. It is a very fascinatingly disgusting smell. Ugh. Yeah, no, that is the exact smell I'm getting. But the smell kind of burns your nose. Yeah, no, it burns your nose. Oh yeah. Very, very red broth. Not sure how well you can see. Apologies. Trying to get a good angle. There. It's a very, very violently red broth. I genuinely don't know what I think about that. But I got a couple of noodles onto my fork. I'm going to give them a blow and give them a taste. Okay, I have exactly 2 noodles I'm going to do that with then. These noodles have by far the worst texture I've had in any kind of pasta ever. Like even from the like canned pasta or from like cheap dollar store pasta or any of that. This is genuinely like some of the worst textured pasta I've ever had. Even like when you screw up pasta and leave it a little bit more al dente than you should, it has a far better texture than this. When you mush rice, it has a far better texture than this. This is fascinatingly terrible. Even the flavor's pretty bad, though. Like, it's extremely bland. Like, I've went to just to the fill line, and this is still... It's bland. This is terrible. I've had better tomato flavor from, like, those really small packets of, I think it's like minestrone soup. Something like that, like just one of those really cheap, crappy, like packets that you throw in with a little bit of water and just, you're done. Far better tomato flavor than that. Far better flavor than this. Like, this doesn't even pretend to taste like cheese pizza or any of that. This has basically like a very muted flavor. If I had to give this a rating right off the bat, 2 out of 10. This is something that if I came across it, even at Martin's for like 50 cents for a box, I'd skip. Like, this is disgusting. If you come across this at the store and you like tomato stuff, actually, let me actually get a taste of the broth for you to keep shitting on this, actually. It's like it's sapping the flavor out of my mouth actively, the broth. Yeah, no, 2 out of 10. If you see this at the store, avoid it. There are far, far better things you can buy. Hell, far better things you can make for cheaper. This is disgusting. Sorry, Totinos, but this is another miss.